Hello, this is Edmund Shing from BCS Asset Management. Today we're going to discuss 3 ideas for yield. The first point is that long-term bond yields are near all-time lows, and yet investors want a yield that is above the current rate of inflation, which in the G7 nations is around 2%. Here on slide 3 we can see that of the various yield instruments, only emerging market sovereign bonds and US high-yield corporate bonds offer a yield well above 3%. In the following slides, I would like to suggest 3 ideas based in the US that have good yields. Firstly, Build America bonds. Secondly, the Cushing Renaissance Common Fund, which focuses on oil and gas sector. And thirdly, US preferred shares. Here on slide 5 we look at the first idea, Build America bonds. Now these are like bonds issued by US states such as California, which are supposed to fund infrastructure building projects. And this was set up by President Obama in 2009. They're interesting because they benefit from a 35% tax rebate on interest paid from the US government, and that makes the yield higher. Here on page 6 we look at the BlackRock Build America Bond Fund, BBN. This is a closed-end fund which invests in investment-grade infrastructure bonds issued by US states, mostly AAA, AA or single A. It offers a yield of 7.3%, and at the moment, using this fund, you can buy $1 of bonds for about 95 cents. So it's a good way to buy these bonds with a good yield at a discount. Here on page 7 you can see the performance of these bonds, which since late 2013 has been good. You're still, however, benefiting from this 5% discount to the fund's net asset value. So I think this is one very good idea. The second idea on slide 8 is the Cushing Renaissance Common Fund. This again is a closed-end fund based in the United States that invests in US oil and gas companies. It invests 80% in stocks in a number of subsectors, such as chemicals, such as oil drilling. It also invests 20% in high-yield bonds, also in the oil and gas sector. Now this oil and gas fund has a yield currently of 5.8%. You can buy $1 of oil and gas stock and bond assets effectively for 88 cents on the dollar. You can see that the performance here has been very strong. Since September of last year, it has tracked the overall US energy sector pretty well. So again, a second good yield idea. The third and final yield idea is US preferred shares, as held in the Nuveen Quality Preferred Income closed-end fund. Now, this invests in US preferred shares, which are largely in the US financial sector. It has a yield of 7.5%, and with this fund you are effectively buying $1 of US preferred shares for 89 cents. Slide 12 shows the strong performance of this fund in preferred shares since December of last year. So if we look at these 3 ideas to finish up, we have 3 good yield ideas based in US dollars. The first one, the Build America bond, largely investing in US state bonds. Secondly, the Cushing Renaissance Common Fund, investing in oil and gas stocks and bonds. And thirdly, the Nuveen Quality Income Fund, investing in US preferred shares in the financial sector. This is Edmund Shing saying goodbye.